thing. Multi-streaming is hard. Streaming is... Life is so hard being a streamer. No. But... yeah. As I was saying, like, this stream is going to be more of just, like, a life update, kind of. I feel like I do this all the time. What would you do without me / No, literally, like, Steel, you are carrying my channel. You don't even realize. Yeah, so this is just going to be me kind of discussing what life is like right now. I have, like, a list of some topics I want to discuss. Some, like, bigger, some not. I feel like I've wanted to do a stream like this for a while. I just haven't because my brain is not letting me. I'm lagging so hard, chat. Okay. We're gonna go into training mode first. But it's like... I don't know. No, don't expect, like, nothing bad. Don't expect me to be like, I'm graduating. No, I'm not graduating. I'm just dealing with life. And I want your guys' inputs on some things with my channel. Because I feel like a lot of things as a content creator is like, I don't know whether I'm like making up things in my head about what I should be doing or not. Or if that's like actually true, you know? So first things first, I want to give some update on the interview stuff. Cause I mentioned that I was going to do interviews, what was it, April or May? And now it's basically July, and I haven't gotten any interviews done. That's been like a mix of a lot of things. Just life, as you'll see later on as I talk, life has been weird for me. And I don't know how to like deal with it. And the other thing is just like the people who I'm reaching out to are also super busy. Yeah, I'm gonna here. Let me turn down Twitch ads again. How do I do this again? Dupe. It's not account settings. It's monetization ads. Run a 3-minute ad every 36 minutes. Okay. That's they're at the lowest they can be right now, where hopefully I can have them off. But like that way it's not like spamming you with ads, but it's just going to be a long ad. I don't know. But what was I on about? Oh, the interviews. Yeah, it's been like either other people are super busy or life has been happening for me. And it's also hard for me because I feel like I'm not like in the VTuber community. It's either do that or like lower the ads, and they give, this is the lowest that I can put them for the percent, like it makes it so you lose significantly less, or you make significantly less based on this. And I don't know, I'm gonna try out the month to see if it actually matters, and if not, I might just even turn off ads because it's not like I have that many people, you know? So I don't know, I feel like I'm not part of the VTuber community a lot. I mean, like, I interact and I try so hard on Twitter, but I think I'm not I'm not consistent enough on streaming and uploading YouTube videos right now where I feel like I can be taken serious, you know? Which I'm going to be talking about that later anyway. Just content career and stuff. But it's been... I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not going to do the interviews. I'm just saying like, I think I announced it too soon. Where I expected things to get done faster or more people to show up. I think I've been really lucky with the people that I have met and the creators I have collabed with or are in plans of collabing with, or like mutuals, where they're people where they significantly are like, yeah, if somebody's going to, you know, try interacting with me and they seem cool, I'll hang out with them. But that's not every creator. Which is no fault of their own. I mean, I doubt you can't expect to be able to reach out to everyone or see every post and be like, yeah, I can do that, you know? And I don't want to like, yeah, there's also a lot of like mistrust in content creation, especially the VTuber field, because of drama from literally everywhere. And there's a lot of people who talk about like behind the scenes you meet VTubers that are just like terrible, which I haven't had that experience yet, but I can understand that they're less trusting to get involved. I also am just like not, I know how to market myself, but I purposefully, chat, I literally like make sure I don't do certain things, even though I know it will be better for me. Like especially editing, I'm starting to switch up to try and make it so I do less like psychology things to make people like engagement bait and shit like that, you know? Because I don't think I need, I don't want to do that, you know? I know it's better, and if I get to a point where this is a full-time thing, I'll probably have to do that, but I don't want to add to that, you know? I think it's not something that I pride myself on, you know? So I that adds to it. And there's another section of like things where I'm gonna be talking about certain things when it relates to like, I don't know, like numbers and the meta. Where it's like, I don't want to focus on that stuff. But yeah, I think for when it comes to interviews, don't expect it to be something that happens soon or really a lot. The other thing that I want to mention is one thing that might impact me a lot, especially when it comes to content creation, is I'm moving soon. I'm moving. I am, if you guys haven't known, I've had the fortune to be in an apartment by myself. But I want to save some money. So I am rooming with a friend, and they don't know that I stream and all this stuff. I don't know whether I'm going to tell them or not. That'll be a thing that I figure out in the next month or two. It'll be sometime in August. I'm moving. We'll see how it goes. But that is something that is on my mind. I've been doing a lot of apartment tours and things like that. So I wanted to let y'all know that before it happens. Better to announce stuff when it's more concrete. Yeah, I think that with the interviews, it was more like I didn't have a place where I knew where to reach out to VTubers. And I probably jumped the gun just being excited and stuff, you know? But it's like you gotta plan when you're free, and then also you have to, like, you have to meet the VTuber offline, you know? You don't want to have your first interactions be on stream, because you could just be two very different people. Like, and I'm sure there's probably like Discord communities and stuff, but I like it when people, like, I'd rather put the offer out there and then have people reach out to me. I don't want to, I don't know. I've reached out to people, but I don't want it to be like a big, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what my reluctance to do that is. I'm also just not a Discord person, which many of my mutuals know. There's been a lot of people, there's literally people who have probably DM'd me 2 or 3 days ago that I just haven't responded to because I panic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. But I'm moving. That's the next thing. So we're in the big, like, meat and potatoes of things. So I mentioned back in the start of May that I was going to be, I was going to be hopefully streaming a lot during the summer. And if you look at my channel, that is not true. I mean, I've streamed, but it hasn't been a lot. Like, I was planning on doing daily streams or like 5 days a week at least. No. I have not been able to do that, and it's really frustrating. And that's for multiple reasons. The most recent one is my friend's health, which a different friend had to move recently. Learned about it like literally a week ago, and that's been really affecting my mental, I guess. So that's been, like, yesterday I did not do anything productive, which it takes a lot in me to be like, hey, it's fine that you're not doing productive things, Soul. But yeah, that's been hard on me, and just that whole situation. And now I have to, like, I felt like I've needed to be very adaptable in when people in my real life can reach out to me, just because of all these health and interpersonal dramas. And streaming is hard to do that. And my motivation has not been big for editing and all that. So I feel bad about it, but that's not, I'm not trying to use that as like a, oh, I'm either helping people or I'm recovering, because there's other things. There have been days where I think I've just been lazy. But it's been super hard for me in that case. The other thing has been, this is like a really hard time for me in terms, not hard, busy time in terms of, I have a lot of things to do relating to just like school, and that's because this is like one of my harder years of not only academic stuff but also not only like classes, but I have to look into grad schools, and I've been studying the last month. Like the next month I have to study for my exam, so that's going to be hard. And doing that while taking summer classes, while streaming, while taking care of friends has made me suffer a lot in terms of either like I haven't been, you know, eating super well, or I haven't been able to run, which is something that really is something that helps me with my mental health and motivation to study and do all this stuff, stream. So things like that has been hard. I have no idea how people like do a full-time job while streaming. Thank gosh I'm not dating anyone. That would be, oh my gosh, my brain could not process life. I don't know. So it's like a mix of that, and then the other thing has been like, it's super hard for me, and I've talked about this, I think a lot of times, where it's super hard for me to figure out what I want to do on YouTube. And that's always been the case. You've seen it even in my videos. I mean, it's either stream highlights, music, and then like there's ASMR stuff. And it's like, I don't know what niche I want to get into. I know that if I do ASMR, I would like my top content consistently, like not my top content ever, but consistently is ASMR. I know that if I want to make my following bigger fast, would be for me to do ASMR. And I've seen people who I collab with, or we share mutuals, who, you know, they're 10 times bigger than me in like 2 weeks just from ASMR. And I think that that's good for them, but I can't do that. You know, I don't want to, I've never been an ASMR focus. That's not why I started YouTube, and that's not why I want to do YouTube. And, you know, it's super hard for me to know what I can be doing that will be entertaining for people. And it especially like hard for me is I always viewed YouTube and Twitch as like the kind of like improv comedy type thing, where I think like GG Murray is very good at what I think in my head YouTube and Twitch is, which is like doing that that kind of humor. But I have started to notice I just can't do that, especially right now with my mental stage. Like I do have those glimpses and moments, like the Wizard 101 stream where Bunny was on. I feel like that showcases that side of me. But I think shifting my perspective into like I can be more relaxed and like less content brained, and have in my head like I think I had like a stigma towards comfy streamers, because I never watched any comfy streamers before. So like, why would I want myself to be that? But just like having that kind of help. So shifting into like being like, okay, Soul, you don't need to be super crazy. Sorry, I have to pause to read chat. growth doesn't mean much if the audience you're gaining isn't there for the stuff that you want to be the bulk of what you make. Yeah, and that's why I don't know if I want to do ASMR. I think that the thing that helped me with it is like help justify it was I wanted to be like, oh, this is how I improve my girl voice. But I don't want that to be, I think that was more of like an excuse, if I'm being honest. It's also just like, I wouldn't say ASMR content is easy for, like, I want to be careful with what I say, because I don't want this to get clipped out of context. I think that the skill ceiling of like ASMR content is different, like the scaling. I think you can make a passable ASMR video with not that much effort as you would need for like a clip thing, like a stream highlights thing. But good ASMRs is not easy content. Like, you have to make sure you get sound effects right. Mic settings, a lot of people I know do hours of takes. That's not what I was doing. The content I was doing in ASMR was very easy. I mean, I would record for 15 to 20 minutes and then edit for maybe an hour and post it. And to give you an example, stream highlights, I edit for an hour and I maybe get a minute of content. So I'm not saying that everyone who does ASMR is doing easy content. I'm saying that for me, the kind of content that I was doing comparatively, it was easier for me. So that's why I did ASMR too, was because there would be days where I'm like, okay, I have to upload a video. I haven't posted anything in a month. I can do an ASMR in one night, you know? Which I don't know if I worded that right. I don't want you to think that like I'm trying to say that all ASMR artists are not trying or it's easy, because I know people who try a ton harder than me, so hard. I think the way I was doing ASMR was literally just for wrong reasons. So I don't know if that's going to mean that I get rid of ASMR on my channel or not. But I think that it's like why I stopped branding myself as femboy stuff. I used to do that a lot, especially back in the day, because it was easier to get people to watch, I guess. And also it's hard to explain to people like, hey, I'm like, most people think that I'm non-binary, but I'm not, like, I don't technically fit the term correctly, and it you know, I could do a whole 8-hour session on just gender. But I don't know. It's hard for me to do that, I think. It's hard when you know, like, you want to be a different kind of streamer or YouTuber than this, but you know that inherently because you're trying to go out of the norm, you're just simply not going to gain as much following as fast, you know? Like, take Melee, for example. This game shows it perfectly. If you want to play at a good level, learning a Fox and a Valko will help, right? That's what people think are viable characters. Now, after 20 years of the meta, people are playing Donkey Kong, who is like, many people didn't have him in like anywhere near top 10 characters. And he's winning tournaments now, you know? Like, it's weird to go out of the perceived norm and do well. I don't know. It's hard for me to do that, you know? And you have to like constantly remind yourself, like, don't just do this for numbers. Because it's not like, I don't want to be big. I just want to like grow a community, you know? And it's hard for me to figure out how to make it so that I can have a community. I know the biggest thing holding me back is just like my mind. I think I posted this on Twitter earlier, where it's like, I think a lot of epiphanies that I've had on YouTube and Twitch and content creation has all been just me being like, oh no, you can do this, instead of this is what content creation is. I don't know. And I've been so fortunate with everyone that I've met. There has not been a single content creator, heck, even like person who's watched me, who has been anything but nice. And it really helps. It really helps. I don't know what I did there. So that's been nice. I need to consult my notes for stuff. Yeah, like I said, grad school has just been super hard. I want to get to a point where I can do a bunch of things. I can like do this as like a hobby job type thing. If you guys don't know, I probably will not make this a full-time career just because I can't. I feel like I'm not very vocal about this, and I try not to be on purpose, but I do have health issues, and that has messed up stream stuff sometimes in the past. But I do have a chronic health disease, which feels weird for me to say, even still, but I don't like mentioning it a lot, but that's why, like, I need healthcare chat, which is why this will not be a full-time job, presumably, for me. It's just, I don't know. That's why I'm not, that's why, like, it's hard for me. Hopefully it gets better. Yeah, it's not I don't see it as like, it's not something that I struggle with hard. Like, I forget about my stuff a lot, but then like randomly it flares up, or it's more like the medicine and stuff that I need is expensive for me. And if I wanted to do it on YouTube, I would either have to be very big or accept sponsorships from companies I would not want to really associate myself with. And I don't want to become a YouTuber that does that. I know, like, everyone can get their own money in their own way, and I'm fortunate enough where, at least for now, I can rely on like family stuff, and which is, believe me, I'm so fucking fortunate. But yeah, it's hard for me to justify putting so much hours into YouTube when I know I have to, like, I have to do well in everything else, or else I might just not live, you know? Which that's just how reality is. I can sit here and complain. I mean, I'm doing things to hopefully make it so that's not the case, but I don't want to be all depressed about it, you know? I honestly don't think about it too much. That's one thing that, like, anyone who I talk to about, like, disability or stuff, is like, it's not like I'm walking around being like, oh, I have a health disease, I have a health disease. No. I just, it happens, and it sucks when it does, but I forget that I have it half the time, you know? So don't be like, oh, soul has to deal with, like, literally, it's fine. It's just like, I'm explaining this for the logistics of like, it sucks for me that I have to choose between something that I am really passionate about, which is content creation, and splitting my time between something that I am passionate about. Like, I really care about mental health and psychology, but there's so many times where I'm like, I cannot do this right now. So it's just about security, you know? YouTube has never been a secure job, and it never will be. Especially when cancel culture has been on... I think especially after, like, 2016, it became very, very clear that YouTube cannot be a sustainable job. Because, I mean, I've seen people get hate and lose a lot of followers for, like, eating food from certain places, you know? Like, you can't... I'm not... that's just how it is. You can try your hardest to be the most uncancelable person, but you will do something. That's just how it is. It's like cancel culture died a long time ago, and I'm not sure how I managed that. It depends. I think for the VTuber sphere especially, cancel culture is still a big thing. I think I've said this before, but I really don't have a problem with canceling people. I think my issue with cancel culture, it comes from there's no way to prove that you're better than you were, you know? Like, there needs to be a way to have it so, like, cancel culture is like, hey, you're doing this thing. Obviously not for everything. If you're committing crimes and you get canceled, you deserve that. And, you know, shouldn't have a platform. But there's certain things where it's like, okay, you did something, we didn't like it, don't do it anymore. And then some people, like, you'll still have a following. Some people will probably still leave, but, you know, it sucks that, like, things that are, like, people did 10 years ago and I've shown repeated progress for is still being hashed, you know? That's, I don't want that. Yeah, there's a difference between accountability and cancel culture. Exactly. And it's hard to do that, especially because I'm a psychology person. It's like I have to deal with people who have done way worse. And I, like, it would be super hypocritical for me to be like, no, people can't change, because, like, if I truly believe that, I would not go into this profession. It would be antithetical to the profession. I mean, I'm gonna have to talk to not only abuse victims, but also abusers, chat. So when I see people are like, I'm never ever talking to this person ever again, I'm like, okay. Maybe it could just be because I'm in the job that I am, or I'm like, you're being a little dramatic there. Like, yes, what they did was terrible, but I think they can change as a person, you know? And I don't feel like I should be reprimanded for having hope that people can change. I don't know. I can see people who are like, oh, no, soul, they can't change. But I think that trying to convince other people that is kind of mean. And it's like, let people have hope, you know? I don't know. What was I on about? Yeah, just safety, and security. Which is why I'm like, there's not going to be a time where I like take off my studies for doing YouTube. Ever. I can't. I literally just can't. I have to have at least a full-time job whenever I do this. Or at least some kind of job where I can get healthcare benefits. Let me look at next topic. This is all just under one thing that just says depression. Chat. Which is more so just motivation, I guess. These are things that are like just hindering my motivation. Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to do, chat, where it's super hard for me to do a lot of things when it comes to YouTube, just from my mind. I think YouTube has definitely helped me mentally in a lot of ways realize like that I have certain, you know, I've never seen myself as like being talented or having hobby, like not talented, but just like being worth people's time in a sense. That sounds like super depressing, but it's like a, you know, why watch like high school football when you can watch college football, you know, or like ML, no, not MLB, NFL. You know, I viewed myself as like the high school sport equivalent of any sport, where it's like, yeah, you can watch it if your like kid is in it, but you're not gonna choose it over going to like the Super Bowl, unless your kid is playing the sport. So that's just been like in my mind. So now it's like I'm trying to find the reason people watch me and like what I can do to capitalize off that. Or like how I can tailor myself to that. Like, for example, if I'm like the comfy streamer, I need to get better at being able to play the game while talking. I feel like my Minecraft streams highlight that a lot, where I'm like, I cannot play game while commentating. All right, my throat is gone, chat. Okay, I'm gonna get into more things that I'm gonna be more real, I guess, chat, where one thing that's really hard for me when it comes to creation of content is yeah, just so I feel like I'm not too I feel like I'm pretty open about this, but I am sexual. Do not find all of that stuff super, you know, I'm not a big, like, I'm not a lewd tuber, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. But that's super hard for me in the field, where it's like, there's certain days I can't open up Twitter because, like, so many people I know, mutuals or just like anyone, posts about things, and I'm like, good on them, but like, you do you. I just like my brain and body is just like, some days cannot handle it. And that's also hard because I know that is also what a lot of people in this community want, if that makes sense. A lot of the VTuber community is very gooner culture, I guess, which I'm like I said, I don't care. I'm not trying to say like nobody should, you know, I'm not trying to censor all of your 18 plus stuff. I'm just saying that for me, it does not work because you know, most days I feel nothing towards it. Some days I feel actually like repulsion. It's like the best way I can describe it is if you like walk into a room and you see people just downing jars of mayonnaise. You're not like judging them as people. You're just like, why would you do that? And you feel grossed out. You know? That's how best I can explain that without, like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, anyone who posts anything that's like chat. Literally some of my favorite people to interact with and my people I interact with the most are like literally some of them are YouTubers. So it's been hard for me to try and find ways to curate an audience who is not like that. Because I've seen it before. There's people who come into my chat and they are very lewd towards me. I don't know whether or not I want to stop that kind of behavior or not. Because on one hand, there's some days I don't care, but some days I'm like, I cannot do this. Which I don't really care about that. There's no one in the community who I've been like uncomfortable. You know, I haven't been like, the way that fans treat me or interact with me is uncomfortable. Yet. But for me, it's just like hard because this community is inherently gooner bait in a sense. It feels like there's a lot of pressure to play into that, you know? Like, it's easier for me if I was just like, I don't know, doing really lewd things to grow as a creator. That's just how it is. Which I feel like I've set some boundaries to myself, but I just haven't been super clear on what I personally am comfortable with doing myself. Like, I've never done like kissing in ASMR videos. I think that's like, I can't do that. But it's super hard for me to be like, what can I do for this? It's also because that kind of stuff is so ubiquitous that like, oh, if I'm gonna talk about visual novels, like that's not gonna reach as many audiences if I'm like, haha, booba, you know? It's just, everybody relates to it in a sense. Except people who are demi or ace. So I don't know. I need to talk to more ace people on the internet. I do have a few moots. I still don't understand that slang. Who are ace, who I might DM about how they do this stuff. It's also weird for me because I'm not used to people seeing me in that way, at least like outwardly, you know? I feel like women AFABs have to deal with that. Like, I know they do because all my AFAB women have told me stories. But I've never been like super objectified in a way. I don't know. And I think the biggest part though is the reason why it's like this mix of, you know, make easy clip by being, you know, gooner type humor, but then like it compromises on me because like I'm ace, so a lot of, or not ace, demi, so like sometimes I'm like, I cannot do this. And then also with the career that I'm going into, I have to be super careful about what I say online. Because I know I'm like a VTuber, but I expect I have to work under the impression that I'm going to get doxxed and canceled. I don't plan to, and I don't want to. I plan on trying to be the best person I can, especially online, but I will make mistakes and I will mess up. And I don't want to jeopardize my content career and personal life. Because if I get... I don't know what I would do if I can't do content creation or mental health work. I probably will not... I don't know what I would do. I don't even want to think about what I would do. So it's like I have to like constantly think and like try and censor myself in certain ways. Like there are a lot of things that, and it's not like bad things. It's just like, I don't, if I get doxxed, then even now, I don't know if I would be able to do my job, just because a lot of my job, like, it's very vital to be very professional and kind of not, like, some practices of therapy, you can't even say your opinion on things, you know? Which is why, like, if you look at therapists or, like, anyone with a PhD or in psych, they're very careful, especially on the internet, about their profiles. At least some are. Some aren't. But if they're offering therapy, they normally are. Which I know, like, this community, the people who watch me and are in my chat do not care whether or not I do these things. It's just like, I don't know how to grow from here, you know? Like, it's not that I'm stagnant, like, I'm growing. It's just I'm gaining a lot of lurkers, which I love lurkers. You're amazing. I just want more community interaction. I love lurkers. You help me so much, because also I have a giant fear of, like, anyone new in chat. I'm like, that's crazy. Am I going to play unranked? No, I literally picked up this game 2 days ago. I would get shit on. I think I have like a 70% L cancel right now. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad that you're comfier talking here, Steel. I hope that I can make it so people can feel free to share their opinion and thought. That's one thing that I value a lot. I think like the biggest thing that I see for a lot of people I meet when it comes to like them having bad mental health is because they're not able to express themselves in certain ways. Whether it's just like even small opinions or like within their family or within their friend group or literally like especially LGBT stuff, I feel like it's very easy to see that. But I had a really good media studies professor who really helped me see just how life-changing it is to be in like an area where people can literally just like say whatever, not say whatever they want, but like share their interests and not feel judged. Like somebody like would talk to this professor about like League. They're like 50-year-old dude. And he's like, yeah. He's like interested in stuff. I'm like, that's so cool. I want to provide a space like that, you know? I think that's one thing that has resulted from internet stuff, especially 2016, like cringe culture made it so people do not share their interests as much. To a point where like every time somebody has like a hobby or something, people label it as like a hyperfixation. And I'm like, no, you have a hobby. But like I see on dating profiles and stuff where it's like, let me rant about my hyperfixations. And then it's like literally they just like something a normal amount. But people are too scared to even like talk about like bands they like or stuff. In our generation, at least. Cringe culture is dumb. Yeah. That's how people feel, but I mean, it's weird. You don't realize that you're playing into these things in the context, you know? Like, there's that really famous guy who does the like Discord mod humor where he's like, hello princess, and all that. I laugh at his videos so much, and I freaking love them. They're amazing. They're so funny. I reference them daily. But like that adds to it of like, if somebody is a Discord mod, they're not gonna talk about it, you know? Or like I don't know. I think also that was because of TikTok. Like, I don't think people realize TikTok only became famous because of stitching. Because then you would have TikTok cringe where people would like stitch videos and make fun of it or like do clever edits like that. And that's kind of where TikTok got its foothold, because people then were like, oh, I'm gonna watch this just so I can see all the memes of people making fun of the actual people like creating, you know? You're in the tar pit post? I haven't seen that. But yeah. And I'd probably add to that too. I most definitely do. I will. It's just how it works. I just wish that I could find a way to do better, make it better. Like, nobody in my life even knows I listen to Vocaloid, which is something I've been doing 9 years at this point, 2016. And has been something that is so important to me. So important to me. I don't know. Damn it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. And I wanna get more involved. I don't know how. But just everyone in the community, you know? I've met so many nice people that it's like I want to keep in touch and, you know, find ways to make it so I can actually be part of this. Community. And grow my own. I think that's also interesting for me to think about, is like, sometimes people watch for me. It's insane. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how I feel in the next month with moving in with someone. I think I get more in my head whenever I'm with people. So we'll see. Should I play unranked? What do you think, chat? I'll probably get crushed instantly. I just don't know what I'm doing. I'm that wrong. I think my big thing is I really just want to like get to know more people. That's what I'm interested in. I want to stream with people. And it sucks because like a lot of people are like, oh, that's, you know, like clout chasing or things like that. I'm like, no, I just like hearing people's stories. I like hearing people's lives, their opinions. I just want to do like interview type things, you know? Where we can just like, you know, those 1 a.m. chat with the boys on Xbox late night things. Like, I want those vibes just constantly. Yeah. Unironically, I think the biggest thing holding me back has always been my voice dies really easily. My voice is not trained to be able to talk for more than an hour straight. Like, I don't think people understand, like, very rarely do people talk for an hour straight. Like, within an hour, if you're having a conversation, you're probably talking for 30 minutes, realistically, given the time. If you're content creating, you're talking for an hour. So times whatever thing by 2, plus take out breaks, or whatever your frame of reference is. I have no idea how people do 12-hour streams. I think that's also because I don't like silence during my streams. And I don't focus on games. Prick. I don't know. One thing for me the past month has been like, I always am like, man, I shouldn't stream today because I'm like in my head right now. But like, I'm never not in my head this month. So it's like, I gotta find out how to stream while dealing with all this, you know? It's much easier. For just what I was doing before. Okay. My mind is going crazy right now. Okay, give me a second, chat. I have to check something real quick. I'm feeling a little weird, so I want to make sure that I'm not dying. Okay. Sorry. I hate having to pause the stream to like look at my medical stuff. Okay. I should be good. I just feel a little weird. I might just switch to a Zatsu chat. Let me change my stream category and all that. Okay, there. Oh no. What are we thinking, chat? What's some things that you've seen from me that you are super excited about? And things like that. I feel very cynical. I might end this stream early just because I'm feeling weird and I don't want to. I feel like I can't think that much or talk, and I don't want to sit here just like sitting for 30 minutes while I'm like spacing out, kind of. At least let my meds hit. I might edit a video while I do that. I do really want to get this video done. I'm still editing that collab from May. Which I think I just need to switch my editing a little to not be as perfectionistic, I guess. I do that a lot. But yeah. I'm sorry, chat. I did not think this was gonna happen. I'm literally like, I'm annoyed. Don't push yourself too hard to be productive, though. Yeah, it sucks because when I'm not productive, I feel like I'm not growing. And I really just want to grow to a point where I feel like I can have a stronger community, you know? I don't care about having tens of thousands of followers or subscribers. I just want, you know, I want to always feel like I'm talking to a lot of people and improving their life, you know, a little bit. So I'm going to go edit. Actually, I'll probably just lie down. I should be good. Thanks for joining me, chat. I hope I didn't look too scrubby at Melee. I know I'm not good. I barely learned how to wave dash until like 2 days ago. But yeah. Thanks for listening to me yap. I hope this kind of like cues y'all into my mentality the last couple of weeks. Yeah. Have a good